Welcome to Pro English Skills. Today, I want to tell you something that might just change your life forever. It's about a habit, a simple one, that has transformed the lives of millions. Yes, I'm talking about Werwol, reading books. Let me start with a story. There was once a young man named David. He lived in a small village with very few opportunities. No money, no big university. He worked at a local shop and often felt like life was just passing by. But one day something changed. He found an old book lying on a bench. He picked it up, started reading, and he never stopped. That one book led him to another, and then another. He began reading every single day. He didn't have a teacher. He didn't go to expensive schools. But books became his guide, his mentor, and his best friend. You might be wondering, how can reading books change someone's life? What's so special about it? Well, reading is like giving your brain a workout. When you read, your brain becomes sharper. You start thinking better. You begin to see the world in a new way. It improves your focus, your memory, and even your ability to make good decisions. And if you're learning English, reading books is one of the best ways to grow. You learn new words. You understand how sentences work. Slowly, your confidence grows. You start speaking better. You don't feel shy anymore. You feel smart because you are learning. Books also give you peace. Life can be stressful, but when you read, you escape. You travel to new worlds. You forget your problems for a while. A good story can make you laugh, cry, dream, and believe. It's like magic, real magic. Reading also makes you more creative. You start imagining things. You begin thinking differently. Every character you meet, every idea you read, it builds your own ideas. That's how writers, artists, and even great leaders are born. Through imagination. And books teach you lessons, deep lessons, about love, loss, friendship, and life. You understand yourself better. You understand people better. You grow not just in your mind, but in your heart. There's also another benefit, discipline. Reading every day builds a habit, and good habits lead to great success. Just think about it. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Oprah. They all read a lot because they know the secret. Books hold power. And today, you don't need to go to a library. You can read anywhere, on your phone, on a tablet, even while sitting on a bus. Knowledge is everywhere if you choose to take it. Remember David, the boy from the village? Today, he's a writer, a speaker, a teacher. He helps others learn. He builds schools. And it all started with one single book. So what about you? What's stopping you? You don't need to read for hours. Start with 5 minutes. 1 page, then 2. Make it a habit. And watch how your thoughts, your language, and your life begin to transform. Books are not just paper. They are doors. Open one. Step through. And find a better version of yourself waiting on the other side. Chapter 2. In this chapter, we talked about how reading books can change your life. But that was just the beginning. Today, let's go a little deeper. Let's talk about what happens inside you when you keep reading. Because once you make it a habit, something magical begins to happen. You don't just read books anymore. The books start reading you. You begin to discover things about yourself that you never knew. You start asking questions. Who am I? What do I want? What makes me happy? And the answers, they often come quietly from the pages of a book. When you read the story of someone else, maybe a character who faced fear, who failed but didn't give up, you start seeing your own story in them. You relate. You feel connected, and slowly, you realize you are not alone. This is the real power of books. They connect us across time and distance. You might read the words of a man who lived 500 years ago and still feel like he's talking directly to you. Isn't that amazing? How something written centuries ago can touch your heart today. And here's another thing. Books shape your beliefs. They help you understand the world, not just how it is, but how it could be. They challenge your thinking. They introduce new cultures, new ideas, new dreams. You become more open, more curious, more human. Let me tell you a little secret. The more you read, the more confident you become, not just in your language, but in yourself. You learn how to speak clearly. You know what to say and when to say it. You carry knowledge inside you. And trust me, people notice. They feel the difference. You walk into a room and they can sense it. You've got something special. And what is that something? It's wisdom. And wisdom is not something you're born with. You build it, page by page, book by book. But here's the challenge. Most people start reading, and then they stop. Maybe life gets busy. Maybe it feels boring. But remember this. In the beginning, every good habit feels hard. Your brain resists change, but if you stay patient just a little every day, it gets easier. Then, it gets enjoyable. And finally, it becomes your identity. You don't have to read big books. Start small, a few pages, a short story, a simple biography, something that sparks your interest. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll look back and see how far you've come. You'll speak better, you'll think better, you'll make better choices. You'll become the kind of person others admire. Not because you're loud, but because you're wise. This is not just about learning English. It's about learning how to live better. English is just the beginning. The real journey is becoming someone who can inspire others, someone who carries light, simply because they chose to read. So if you're still watching, I want to say this. You are already different. You are already growing. Don't stop now. Keep reading. Keep learning. Your future self will thank you. And if you need help choosing your next book or want me to share easy English reads for practice, drop a comment below. I'd love to guide you. Thanks for staying with Pro English Skills. Your journey has just begun, and I'm here for every chapter of it. Until next time, take care, and don't forget, your story matters. So keep writing it, one book at a time. Chapter 3. In this chapters, we talked about how books can shape your thoughts, how they make you confident, how they slowly build a better version of you. But now, let's talk about something even deeper, how books change the way you see life. Because the truth is, we all see the world through a certain lens, based on our experiences, our fears, our environment. But books, they clean that lens. They help you see the same life, the same struggles, in a completely new way. Have you ever felt stuck in a problem? Like no matter how hard you try, there's no way out? That's where books can surprise you. Because inside some random chapter, in some forgotten story, you find a sentence, a thought, a moment, and suddenly your entire mindset changes. That's the power of perspective, and books give you thousands of them. When you read a story about a poor man who became successful, or a girl who fought against fear and won, it hits you. If they can do it, maybe I can too. This is not just motivation. This is mental transformation. Reading gives you mental strength. It trains your brain to keep going when life says stop. It shows you that every failure has a lesson, and every lesson a reward. You stop seeing problems as walls. You begin to see them as challenges, as opportunities to grow. And here's something no one tells you. People who read regularly develop emotional intelligence. You learn to understand people better. You become more patient, more kind, more aware. Why? Because books show you the inside of people, their fears, their dreams, their emotions, and that understanding makes you wiser in real life. You start listening better. You stop judging quickly. You become someone who makes others feel seen, heard, understood. And in this noisy world, that's rare. That's special. You know what else happens? Your dreams start to change. You begin to dream bigger, clearer, with more faith. 'Cause you've read the stories of dreamers. You've walked with them, cried with them, won with them, and those stories stay inside you. They push you when you're tired. They remind you that it's possible. You see, reading isn't just about books. It's about building a belief system, a foundation that no one can shake, because once your mind expands, it never goes back. Once you know what's possible, you can't forget it. And this is why I keep saying, keep reading, even if it's just 5 pages, even if it's 1 paragraph. Because every word you read is a step closer to the person you're meant to become. You are not just learning English, you're learning life. You're not just improving your vocabulary, you're building your future, word by word, page by page. So today, as you finish this video, ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to live? What kind of person do I want to be? And then, go find a book that brings you closer to that answer. I'll be right here, helping you through every chapter. This is your journey, your growth, your story, and I'm proud of you for choosing it. Let's keep going, together. Absolutely. Here's the final chapter of your script. Heartfelt, powerful, and emotionally satisfying, wrapping up the journey in a way that leaves your viewers inspired to take action. And now we arrive at the final part of our journey, a quiet moment of reflection. We've explored how reading shapes your mind, strengthens your emotions, and unlocks your vision of life. But in this last chapter, I want to talk to you heart to heart. Because the real change, it doesn't just happen while you're reading. It happens after, in your daily life. Reading is not a magic wand. It doesn't solve your problems overnight, but it plants seeds, seeds of thoughts, beliefs, ideas, and those seeds, when watered with consistency, start to grow. You may not see it right away, but slowly, something inside you begins to shift. You speak with more clarity. You walk with more purpose. You respond with more wisdom. And one day, you look back, and you don't even recognize the old version of you. That's what real growth feels like. Quiet, but powerful. Books don't shout, they whisper, they don't force, they invite. And if you accept the invitation, if you open that first page and allow yourself to enter a new world, you'll come out of it changed. You'll carry those lessons forever. And the most beautiful part? Reading is always there for you. When you feel alone, when you feel lost, when life gets too heavy, books don't judge, they don't rush, they don't walk away. They sit with you, they hold your hand, they show you the way. This is why people who read never truly feel alone. Because inside every book, there are people, real or fictional, who understand you, who reflect your fears, your hopes, your soul. And when you read their stories, you realize your own story matters too. So here we are, the end of this video, but the beginning of something new for you. Maybe today you'll pick up a book. Maybe just a few pages, maybe just one. But that's all it takes. One page to start a new habit. One book to change your mindset. One idea to transform your life. And if no one has told you this today, let me say it clearly. You are capable of more than you know. You deserve growth. You deserve knowledge. You deserve a mind that's free, confident, and strong. And reading can take you there. Make it a part of your life. Build a routine, even if it's just 10 minutes a day. Read to learn. Read to heal. Read to become the person you were always meant to be. Because in the end, the right book doesn't just sit on your shelf, it lives in your heart. And once you find it, you'll never be the same again. Here are 20 quotes about reading books by famous personalities. 1. A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only one. George R.R. Martin. 2. Once you learn to read, you will be forever free. Frederick Douglass. 3. Reading is essential for those who seek to rise above the ordinary. Jim Rohn. 4. Books are a uniquely portable magic. Stephen King. 5. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Dr. Seuss. 6. Reading furnishes the mind only with materials of knowledge. It is thinking that makes what we read ours. John Locke. 7. I do believe something very magical can happen when you read a good book. J.K. Rowling. 8. A room without books is like a body without a soul. Marcus Tullius Cicero. 9. Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. Joseph Addison. 10. Books are the quietest and most constant of friends. They are the most accessible and wisest of counselors. Charles W. Eliot. 11. Until I feared I would lose it, I never loved to read. One does not love breathing. Harper Lee. 12. There is no friend as loyal as a book. Ernest Hemingway. 13. You can never get a cup of tea large enough or a book long enough to suit me. Hotchkiss Lewis. 14. Reading is a basic tool in the living of a good life. Mortimer J. Adler. 15. No matter how busy you may think you are, you must find time for reading or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance. Confucius. 16. If you don't like to read, you haven't found the right book. J.K. Rowling. 17. Books break the shackles of time, proof that humans can work magic. Carl Sagan. 18. Reading gives us some place to go when we have to stay where we are. Mason Cooley. 19. The man who does not read has no advantage over the man who cannot read. Mark Twain. 20. I find television very educating. Every time somebody turns on the set, I go into the other room and read a book. Groucho Marx. Thank you for being here with Pro English Skills. If this video inspired you even a little, please like, share, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, what's the one book you want to read this month? Keep learning, keep growing, and never forget, readers become leaders. See you in the next video.